What is up, you far out interdimensional beings? Thank you for being here. Today we are having our first conversation. I didn't prepare it much. I was inspired because it was like shower thoughts and listening to some music, and I kind of came up with this topic and decided that this would be cool to have a conversation about. So recently, in the past few years, there has been a lot of talk about terms like gaslighting and manipulation and emotional abuse and narcissism or a narcissist. And a lot of these terms, maybe not manipulation, but a lot of these terms have just sprung up in the past few years. And I think that it is at a point where it's almost doing more bad than good. And I kind of want to have a conversation about that. So I have been involved in relationships that I would consider emotionally abusive. I've been with people who I think are emotionally manipulative and maybe even just plain manipulative. But to go one step further, maybe even narcissist. But even though I felt wronged, I felt like the victim, and that's a good word to focus on right now. I felt like the victim in these situations. And so from that, I had all this self-righteous anger. Like, I'm allowed to be mad at someone who's being emotionally abusive to me. And that is true. But when it gets to the point of you're a narcissist type thing, wherever I myself would find the need to call somebody else a narcissist, it kind of caught me off guard in my own head. I kind of stepped back a bit and started to think about the repercussions of these newfound words, because these words that are coming out in the mainstream, it doesn't matter when they were invented. It matters when the population adapted to them. So when you have the word narcissist clearly defined, you have there's a negative connotation associated with the word narcissist, right? It kind of makes you, if you're being called a narcissist or you're calling someone else a narcissist, it kind of makes them feel like a criminal, and I mean, in a way they have wronged you, but you're making them feel like a criminal. And so when we use these words, my main point is that I would hope that in the future we can get to a point where we use these words in a way that is productive rather than counterproductive. Because go back to the times in your life where you've had arguments with people and someone either called you a narcissist or you called them a narcissist, and recall how that made you feel, and to the best of your ability, recall how it made them feel if they communicated that to you. But I can almost guarantee you, anytime you point the finger at somebody and say, you're a narcissist, that has never converted a narcissist to living a life absent of narcissism. So, the way I hope society evolves and begins using these words is when you encounter a narcissist in your life, a friend, an acquaintance, a family member, a significant other, when you find somebody that you think is a narcissist, something that would be good for us as human beings is to go, I know what a narcissist is. I know how to handle narcissists because I researched it. I looked it up. And when you encounter a narcissist, you understand that a narcissist is simply somebody that has a broken self-esteem. They are very, very devoid of self-esteem. They don't feel well about themselves. And the outer depiction of that is that they may feel well about themselves. Some people might build themselves up to be the best person ever. You know, they are so egotistical and so full of themselves that is, you know, our main concept of narcissism. But really what it is broken self-esteem. And that term, misery loves company, is that, you know, a narcissist will try to pull you down to their level, their broken self-esteem. They want you to have that as well, you know? And so when you encounter a narcissist, you say, I know what a narcissist is. I've been here before. I've seen this before. Last time I called someone a narcissist, it didn't work out too well. They're still a narcissist, you know? So maybe if we just approach the topic with a sense of understanding that they have low self-esteem, you can understand how to not live with, but coexist with somebody that has that mental disorder, you know? Because in the age of social media, so many people are narcissists now, you know? They have that broken self-esteem and they look to social media for likes and engagement and things like that. So when you see that society has kind of brought this upon us, making everyone out to be a criminal is not the answer. To be a criminal for something so minuscule, you know, like the things I was talking about earlier, like emotional abuse and things like that is a bit more serious. That comes with a sense of, you know, accountability. You do want, you know, that person to be aware that they have emotionally abused you, and you want them to, you know, be accountable and kind of make changes on that. And in a way that exists with narcissism, but you also just want to have the person not hurt you and somebody else. So dealing with them with a sense of understanding is the best way to go about it, because pointing at them and saying you're a narcissist is only going to make them go be a narcissist to somebody else. So in a society where social media just amplifies narcissism, maybe if we were to tackle this with a better understanding and maybe, dare I say, a little sense of love, then we might just be able to reel our fellow human beings back from that narcissistic void that we've all fallen into, you know, because it is something that has been amplified by social media, and that is a fact. And when you see so many people dealing with that broken self-esteem, then you know that narcissism is a illness rather than a criminal act, you know. And I do know that in life there are some of those things that overlap, criminal acts and illnesses, but it's one that's not, you know, it's something that's been going on forever. We've, in the past, before social media and technology, there were certain people that developed a sense of narcissism, and it was much less back then, but it's not like a, you know, like you're pointing at someone and being like, you're a terrible person, you know? And that is just, I there's something in me says that that's not the right way to go about it, you know? And I feel like that's how we deal with a lot of mental illness, you know? I feel like when you deal with somebody that's an addict, sitting there and telling the addict that they're a criminal and a bad person, we've already come to the point in society where we know that that is just wrong, that is just incorrect to point a finger at an addict and be like, you're a bad person, you chose to do this, you know? So in terms of narcissism, especially when you have a younger generation growing up with social media, you know, like I grew up with, MySpace at like, 15 or something, but like it's not the same when you've always had Instagram and Facebook and now TikTok. And so when you have this younger generation growing up, maybe we should start looking at narcissism as a mental health issue rather than a criminal or the aggressor, and you're the victim of that, because I didn't get to it in this conversation, but playing the victim is not good for anyone, in the serious cases, and that's another thing. We need to save the term criminal for the true criminals, for the people that are really criminal, the people that are bad, that are in need of serious help and rehabilitation, that need to go to jail. These people need to have that term reserved for them, because when you start making it out to be that way, criminal becomes a diluted term, or I don't know. It's something that society loves to play into. We are coming into encounters with a narcissist, and now I'm the victim of narcissism, and now I get to go home and I get to feel however I want to feel about how a narcissist treated me. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not speaking to horrific crimes. I'm not speaking to murders and victims of murders. Like, that is not what I'm talking about so clearly. Like, what I'm talking about is that everyday interaction with human beings on the street, and walking past them and just feeling like you're the victim because they have wronged you in some way. That's not criminal, And it's just, it's something I've been thinking about, because have I been a victim of narcissism myself? Absolutely. Have I been the perpetrator of narcissism myself? Absolutely. Because everyone in life has experienced low self-esteem at some point, and some people live with it every single day. Some people give themselves no self-love at the end of the day or the beginning of a day. Some people don't pay attention to their mental and emotional needs or well-being. And it's just, for me, at this point, I'm taking the stance that it's for my own life. It's not so serious that I need to be the victim of a narcissist. And instead, I'm choosing that when I see somebody in my head that I label as a narcissist, that I now know how to treat them as people who suffer from low self-esteem. And how do you treat somebody with low self-esteem? How can I be a therapeutic interaction with a person with low self-esteem? Those are my comments for the day. Tell me what you think in the comments below. I wish you nothing but peace and love and pursuit of happiness. And yeah. Peace. Oh, wait. Let me know in the comments what conversations you would like to have, because this kind of was like a mental health society one, but I'm down to talk about aliens and UFOs and 17,000 different dimensions and timelines. And so just drop in the comments what kind of conversation you want to have, and I'll try to make something out of it. This is definitely something I want to get into, and I had a real good time doing it right now, and I think it was therapeutic for myself. And I hope it was, therapeutic for you in some type of way. And I hope it didn't anger you beyond belief. I hope you're not a victim of this video. All right. Much love. Now, peace.